to the Paycheck, a show presented by Sneakerjagers, and I am Pay, your host. I will be checking the culture with different types of guests with interesting stories and knowledge to share with us. And today my guest is DJ Sueside. Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Holding up. How you feeling?
I'm feeling okay. Feeling good. Feeling okay.
Feeling good? Up for the conversation?
Up for the conversation, yes.
And I think it's going to be a great conversation because you have such a history. For those who don't know DJ Sueside, you will get to know him today. First of all, when we talk about you being a DJ, you come from hip-hop culture.
Yes.
Most people know you as a DJ, but you actually have been part of more elements.
Yes.
Can you tell us how you started?
Well, I started as a little stereo on the b-boy tip, breakdancing. And yeah, in that time you only can buy records, so we was collecting a lot of records. My brother, he was a bit older than me, so we had a lot of records. And till we saw a video, no, the videotape came from my aunt who lived in New York. She was living in the Bronx. And she recorded a lot of videos for us and sent them to my brother. And that's how we kind of got to know a certain type of music. And like maybe 1 year later, there was like a TV show that people was doing electric boogie, breakdancing. It's like, what is that? We wanted to do that. And so that's when we started, because, yeah.
How old were you at the time?
I was, I think I was 7 years old.
7 years old. So you started pretty much with breaking.
Yeah, electric boogie, breakdancing, yeah.
Do you remember one of the first songs that you were dancing to?
That's the whole thing. Yeah, I do remember, because it's 83, so that was a break machine.
Wow.
Street dance. That's my first record I bought with my own money.
Oh wow, that's also the first record you bought?
Yeah.
Okay, so you were dancing, and how did you move into another element of hip hop?
Well, it wasn't until we saw the first DMC championships. We recorded them because it was held in London. And that's where I saw DJ Cheese. DJ Cheese, actually, what he was doing on the turntables, I was like, oh, I was frozen. Just watching him do his stuff. That's when I know, like, I want to do that too. I want to do that too. I was already playing music with cassette decks, playing with cassette, making loops with cassette, stealing nail polish from my sister, making loops with the nail polish.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I'm sure some old school heads can remember that. And so did that mean when you moved from breaking to DJing that you were choosing one over the other, or were you still?
No, I was like, I just like this. It was, for me, it was like, oh, I wanna do that.
This.
Yeah.
But it was a hobby at the time.
Yes.
So what was the turning point for you to make it an actual living?
Because it was around 1989. It wasn't making a living of it. I was more DJing at parties, at friends, and didn't have much records. I had a few records. My brother had a lot more. And 1990, I started DJing in student parties. I DJ for a friend of mine. His uncle had a cafe, a student bar. A lot of students would go there after school. And they wanted to organize a hip-hop night, so that's when I started playing DJing. It was actually 1990.
Did you have your own turntables already?
I had one turntable at the time.
What was it? What brand?
It was a Technic SLD2. It was the one with the pitch. You gotta with the finger pitch. It's not like the pitch we have nowadays.
Nowadays, yeah.
And the second one I made myself.
You made a turntable yourself?
Yes, my sister had you know, the stereo sets with cassettes, and you have the turntable on top.
Oh right, yeah, like the little towers.
Yes, I saw that shit off, put it on a piece of wood, and took all the elements apart and made it work.
Oh wow! So that was a Sueside brand.
It was very dangerous because I had touched one wire, I can electrify myself.
So you also put, well, it already had the needles and stuff, but you just turned the record player into a turntable.
Yeah, but I couldn't pitch with it.
Okay.
I just could only play the record. It will play. But then the thing is that player had like the rubber band. It didn't have a direct belt drive. So over time I had to change the rubbers.
Wow, just a bit to keep it working.
It took me like a year asking my aunts and my uncle, I wanted that turntable. That shit cost a lot, you know. As a young guy, that shit.
Right.
You can't afford that stuff. And so after that, I finally got a turntable, same one as that I had. So now I had two.
So you had two, yeah.
Then I had like my first mixer was like a 𝗦𝗢𝗘𝗔𝗏𝗏 something. Crappy mixer, but I was happy.
Yeah, you made it work.
Yeah.
And was that your first set that made you practice for parties, or were you making mixtapes, or what were you doing? I
started making mixtapes a lot later when I had a proper set, when I finally got a proper set.
So that was just to try and play the music?
I could blend music.
Right.
At that time I could blend music already. I was like really listening to the tracks. And so I only had one side that I can pitch with. So the one side I had to memorize the BPMs.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this record, if I put them on, they have the same speed. So I had to really be creative with the records.
That's pretty awesome. You had a DIY set, do-it-yourself turntable.
Pretty much. I only had like 2 examples in my area. There were DJing like 𝗬𝗏𝗘𝗥𝗝𝗔𝗏, rest in peace, 𝗬𝗏𝗘𝗥𝗝𝗔𝗏. He's also one of the guys in Tilburg who organized the first hip-hop party in Tilburg in 1983. He was already doing that. And he was already DJing.
And who else?
𝗦𝗢𝗘𝗥𝗏𝗏.
Oh wow.
DJ 𝗦𝗢𝗘𝗥𝗏𝗏. And yeah, actually 𝗦𝗢𝗘𝗥𝗏𝗏 and Groove B, they were like local heroes. And I was a young guy looking, they were like still my heroes.
So how did you get to the name DJ Sueside?
Oh, that came like in probably around 91, 92. I was in this group, rap group. I got a picture for that. It's pretty much inspired by NWA and Public Enemy. The name of the group was CAN.
CAN.
Crazy ass niggas. And yeah, we had to, you know, in that time it was pretty much controversial, everything, you know, kicking against the system, and you want to stand out. Yeah, you have to be hardcore, you can't be whack, you can't be soft. So my name came from that.
DJ Sueside, yeah, well, that makes sense. You can't have a soft name, it has to match the group.
And I didn't get the name like we just made it up. No, something happened and they start nicknaming me that.
Oh, okay.
We went on there was like a building, and they were building like a new complex, flat apartments. And friends of mine, they wanted to go and sit on the roof because there's nobody there. So, and they had like, we climbed to the top of the building on the roof. They sat down, they was, you know, smoking. 15, 14-year-olds all together. I wasn't trying to smoke, okay. What happened was security came to check on the
premises.
On the premises. Yeah. So we was like, no, we gotta go down. So I was like, hey, there's a hole in the roof. Hey, oh, there's a staircase here. They all went down to the outside of the
side of the building.
I went down there, but there was no stairs there. There were like only like the isolation material. So I fell like 4 stories down on the isolation material.
So that was DJ Sueside.
So I walked and had no scratch whatsoever. So I walked outside and they're looking up. I'm like, yo, they try to hide. Just like there's somebody down there. It's like, yo, it's me. So how you get down so fast? Man, I fell down.
You just fell, yeah.
So yeah.
They didn't jump after you, right?
No.
I said, well, I can see how that name came about then. That's a funny story. I never, I've known you for so long, but I never knew that story.
Yeah,
so
that's when they started calling me, oh, that's Sueside, man. Yeah, you DJ Sueside. This should be a DJ name. They was making jokes about it, so that's it stick.
Yeah, well, hey, I just know you as Suey. So no, this is why I like having these conversations, because you've been part of the culture for so long. I've known you for so long, but I never knew where your name came from, because I never bothered to ask, I guess. You were just always Sueside to me. But great story. Are you still in touch with those guys?
Only one of them. The rest is all like they're, doing
their
the family life stuff.
Right.
We started off pretty much hardcore. Some of them, one of them is even in church. So yeah.
So when we talk about DJing, I was just mentioning it, turntablism. That's part of hip hop. What is to you the biggest difference between a DJ today and an actual turntablist?
Today there's so much you can divide. Let's say not divide. You can there are also so many different
branches of DJing.
Yes, yeah. Exactly. You have a party DJ. You have a club DJ. You have a show DJ that performs on the show. I've been doing that too. You have DJs that do purely scratching. Turntablism is something. It's like the whole name of it: scratching, beat juggling. All kinds of cuts.
So do you consider yourself all around? Or is there something that you still...
No, I pretty much, I can say I'm all around. Because that's the whole thing, when you're coming up and living in Netherlands, and you got all the influences from overseas. You got, you look at London, UK, we can look at South America. So you have all kinds of music types. Me, myself, being from South America, so I got the Caribbean, dancehall, reggae, soca. Although that makes you pretty much all round. Yeah. So yeah. But
also with all your skills. So when we're talking about DJing being a hip hop element, who has been your biggest influence when you were little and you were trying to do everything
Terminator
with your homemade?
Terminator X. I wanted to be just like him.
Why?
I don't know, his glasses, this whole way he stands around behind the turntable, really looking cool. That's Terminator X.
Have you ever met him?
No, unfortunately, no.
Oh, that's sad. Well, making that little bridge to you being a tour DJ, a show DJ. For those who don't know, you have been a DJ for one of the biggest hip hop groups in the world.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang.
Yes.
How did that come about?
Well, that's a long story.
Make it short. Where were you in life? Where were you in life when that happened?
Where was I? Well, actually, I was DJing for Silver Rings. And actually, the whole clique, like the Moonlight Clique, Dr. Moon, Barracuda, Silver Rings, we live really close by, and we used to go to. They used to go to a spot where I hang out, and I would bring my boombox, and I have cassette tapes and have my mixtapes, and that's how they met me. And I gave them out mixtapes, and they all wanted that music. So, and that's how they asked me, "Yo, we rapping, we making music. Can you, want you to come DJ for us?" It's yeah, and I did. Till Silver Rings had a lot of ambitions to be a part of the the whole Wu-Tang clan, Wu-Tang Killer Bees. And when it finally happened, he for a school project, he organized his first tour, the Wu-Tang Killer Bees tour. That was a school project, his graduation project.
Oh wow!
And I went along as his DJ there, and also DJing for the other artists that came from overseas, like for Wu-Tang Killer Army.
Right.
Shabazz the Disciple was there. Timbo King from Royal Fam. Yeah, Remedy also.
So he organized a tour.
Yeah.
And you were DJing
yes.
for the entire tour?
Yes.
Okay, so then somebody noticed you.
No, it was basically Beretta from Killer Army. He was also doing the backup vocals for RZA, and the next tour they wanted to bring an actual clan member because the first tour was Killer Bees, And on that tour, 𝗧𝗛 asked me like halfway the tour, was like, yo, I got some more stuff coming up. Would you like to?
So wait. We're not going to just glance over that. I mean, this guy is saying, well, you know, and then 𝗧𝗛 just asked me, no, hold on. We're going back. I know it's normal for you, but I would like to know, okay, you were doing that tour.
Yes.
I'm still on that tour, and then you just, and then 𝗧𝗛 asked me.
No, we was doing the tour. It was funny, because it was really funny, because in the beginning, you know, I'm a sober guy. I don't smoke and drink.
No, I'm kidding.
I drink something from time to time. But, you know, it was funny, so
you're in that moment, you're doing your thing.
Yeah.
That had to be like a super moment for you.
It is.
So please narrate like that, because it's
sorry.
Normal now. It's been so long ago. But yeah, let take us in your like excitement about that moment.
It was basically like this. We had like a show with 𝗧𝗛 and a tour.
And you were already like, oh, I got a show with 𝗧𝗛.
No, I was like, oh shit, I really got a DJ for him. And this guy is a perfectionist.
Oh, you had to DJ for him.
Yes.
But how did that happen? He didn't have a DJ?
No, he came along and he's like, we was expecting him to bring mathematics.
Right.
And he was like, no, he looked around, it's like, yo, Rings, I'm gonna use your DJ, right? No problem, it's okay.
Because mathematics wasn't there?
No, it was Master Killer, mathematics, and 𝗧𝗛𝗘𝗥𝗝𝗥.
Okay.
And 𝗏𝗏 from Killer
Right.
Army. Yeah.
Okay, so he said, Silver Rings, I'm gonna use your DJ, and you were like,
okay. Yeah, step your game up.
Right. Weren't you nervous?
I wasn't at first, yes. I was nervous because, you know, you don't want to make mistakes. You want everything to make right. But some mistakes went down, but nobody noticed.
Right.
Only us was like, yo.
So did you have to like practice with him? Like
no,
go through
we
his
didn't.
set? He just put you there and you just
It's like we sit down. Every time we sit down, like, okay, we made a list for the show.
Right.
And then we went on stage and we followed that set. And maybe sometimes he would change it during the set.
Right.
It's like, no, skip that. Let's go to this.
Okay, but you just know how to move.
I have learned how to move because in the beginning that was like, oh my God, wait a minute. You know, he knows what he wants. He's a perfectionist. He looks at the crowd and he looks like, okay, they're not ready for this. Let me skip this track. Let's go to this.
Right. So what was his first feedback after that first show? What was it? Did you have a one-on-one with him?
Yes.
How did that go for you?
For me, that was like a learning curve.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, okay, it was a different experience. It was super dope to be, you know, to be working with him in this way. So I learned a lot from him. I can tell you that.
How was he with the feedback? Was he like nice?
Oh yeah, he was nice. He was dope. He wanted me to be on my A game as a DJ. He wants like, yo, DJ is an important character in the whole setup.
Right.
So he wanted me to own that. He wanted me to be on that.
So how long have you worked with them ever since that, or how much did you do with them after that?
I did a total of almost three world tours, 3 to 4 world tours. And the last one was more like 𝗬𝗘𝗘𝗥𝗏𝗏 and solo with different, like I went on tour with Method Man, on Canada tour, I did a tour with Raekwon, did a tour with 𝗧𝗛𝗛,
That's so dope. Yeah. And some people don't even know that. But then again, you know, the people that know you, they kind of know you from Wu-Tang. You're an affiliate at this point. Like, oh, you just
I can't escape it. I can't.
But you don't want to either.
No,
you know,
but I mean, I'm not the type of guy who like, look at me. I don't do that.
No, that's not.
I just humble it out. I humble the fact that I had the opportunity to work with them in that way.
So do you think there's still an opportunity in the future that they're going to ask you for something, or is that ship sailed? Or
no, there's probably it's a yes. It's in the future some.
If they come back to Europe, maybe
No, if 𝗧𝗛's ready to do shows again overseas.
Yeah, he got too much other stuff going on at this point.
Hollywood. He's doing a lot of work in Hollywood. Positive stuff.
Right. All right. So then I want to go to the part where a lot of people may not know this, but you're also a great visual artist. So, you know, when we talk about hip hop elements, graffiti, but just your art, I have a couple of his art pieces in my house. You're just so talented. what does the art part, what does the graffiti part, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot, because at the time I would just listen to records, sit down and make my own art, graffiti art, my tags, and so, you know, in the time when we was growing up, we didn't have no internet what we have right now, like the kids have. No, you had to be creative.
You had your crayons and your notebook.
Your notebook.
Yeah.
Till I saw Beat Street, they was like, oh shit, they're using spray cans.
Right.
I was like, oh. You know, everything for us, it got to come from a movie or a video or something that we, you know, because in that time you got to, I mean,
you had to find a way to express your creativity.
Yes.
In creative ways.
Yeah.
I mean, now there's so many tools. People can express themselves in so many ways, and we didn't have that at the time. I just find it interesting that you are so good at everything. Because, you know, there's people that dabble into different things, but, I mean, your art is absolutely amazing.
Well, thank you.
You know, aside from your DJ skills, and I don't know how good you still are at breaking, but
I'm like, my breaking skills will be like, let me explain that to you. It's like a turtle with a hernia.
DJ hernia.
I can do a little pop locking though. That's okay.
B-boy hernia. No, that's funny. And you know, you have sons, and so you give your culture, your skills, your knowledge, everything you give that, you pass that on to your sons. How did you instill that in them?
And then it went automatically. They grow up with the music. Like my son, I told him, like, listen, don't forget your musical vision perspective is totally different than kids from your age, because I've been playing all kinds of music and they be singing along. I have like CDs in the car. They want me to pop them in, old CDs, like 60s songs. They sing it along with that 70s funk. They know a lot more than kids from their age.
And I know that they were also participating in the
B-boy contest. Yeah. The oldest, he got so much talent. Like, you know, B-boy 𝗬𝗏 from Hustle Kids. He's like world champ.
Yeah.
He was training him. He was like, yo, if this guy, if he continues like this.
Is he still?
No, he stopped breaking. Now he started rapping.
Oh, okay. Well, he's dabbling in more elements too.
Yeah.
That's not bad. And the little one?
The little one, he did a lot of breaking, but then he stopped too with breaking. He's like, yeah, I'm not gonna push him in something if they don't want.
But at least they know the culture. And you know, going into teaching the younger generation, you are now also a teacher.
Yeah.
So what do you teach?
I give pop vision, music history.
Very important.
Very important. So I just use hip hop as my main.
Your base.
It's my main base. So I think like I show them where the samples came from and who took the sample and put it in, you know, in a remix and made it a new thingy. And so yeah.
That's so funny, because I used to have a radio show back in the day. I had an old school radio show, and I would play the original song and mixed it into the new pop song that used that sample. And I had a lot of listeners who were like, oh, it's not new. And it was the younger generation. Like, yeah, your favorite pop idol or rapper did not invent that. So it's pretty much what you're doing in a more detail for your classes.
Yeah, it's more in a detailed way. And I also call it, I don't call it like sample like they're doing, taking it. No, I call it musical DNA.
Yeah.
And another friend of mine, he calls it sample chain. DJ 𝗬𝗖𝗓, salute to DJ 𝗬𝗖𝗓.
Yeah.
He calls it sample chain. I mean, if you create something, let's say you started out in the 90s, you create something totally new. Somewhere in the 2000 era, somebody took that track and made it a hit. 10 years later, somebody else came.
Right. Take it and
Yeah. Some tracks have like 12 different peoples using the same sample.
Yeah. And that's why if you make timeless music, whether it's part of your song or your production, it can be used forever and ever in new ways.
Yeah, and first, James Brown was trying to fight that. He made that song about it, I'm Real.
Oh yeah.
He's talking about everybody using his track, but then he realized like, hey, I'm more present than ever.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows that it comes from me.
And it's an influence
it's
that,
a big influence.
that you will keep that forever, and you're part of history.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So who are some of your biggest influences when it comes to not just you as a DJ or, you know, you as a hip hop person, but you as you?
Influences. Huh. I gotta say my uncles. And they were like the first funk soul band in the Caribbean. Mm. And they play like 40 years together. They're the longest playing family band.
What was the name of the band?
𝗬𝗧𝗛𝗪𝗧.
Yep. I mean, if we're gonna shout them out, we gotta.
Yeah, my uncles. Shout out to my uncles.
Yeah.
I love you all. Even the two in heaven, together with my moms in heaven.
Shout out to moms.
Yeah.
Yeah, we miss her. She definitely was one of your biggest influences of the person that you became today.
Yes.
Let's take another little bridge. You know, this show is presented by Sneakerjagers, a sneaker platform.
Yes.
I know that you also have some type of love for sneakers and fashion, obviously. Mm-hmm. What are you wearing today?
Yeah, nothing special.
Doesn't matter. What are you wearing today?
I got on a cap, the World Series cap from 2000, New York Nets versus New York Yankees. Hey.
You're repping Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, repping Brooklyn, yeah.
And what's on your feet?
I got on some, how you call these? Filling pieces. They're like gifted from my brother.
Okay,
birthday
so
present.
Sentimental value.
Yeah, my brother gifted to me, so yeah, I'm rocking them.
Cool.
It's my birthday gift.
Now, I know that you also make jackets and stuff with your art. Would you consider doing a shoe with your art?
Yes, I did shoes.
I did shoes.
I still got one to finish for my sister.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's dope. So customized sneakers.
Yes.
Art by Spency.
𝗬𝗛𝗘𝗥𝗏𝗏.
That was it. Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, if there's another goal in your life, because you've done so much, if you were able to accomplish another thing, what would that be?
I will try to be an astronaut.
Astronaut? No, serious. I'm dead serious.
I'm seriously. I am a stargazer for sure, and I love everything that happens up there.
Nice.
And I would love if, let's say, if the aliens would come down today, tell you, yo, you want to go out on a trip? We bring you back in the same time. The trip is going to take you 2 years, but you're going to be back. I'm out.
Well, that's what 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 does. He provides regular people to go to space now. You can buy a ticket, $40,000, I think.
Yeah, I'd rather have the people who had more experience.
No, but he's bringing you know, experienced astronauts with him, and you get like a training and everything. But yeah,
I'm ready.
Trust me, if I have the money, I'll buy a ticket for you for your birthday.
Okay.
That's great.
I'll keep you.
No, you know me. I'm good at my word. Okay, so another thing.
Okay.
One of the things that you and I love to do is eat. Mm-hmm. Food is a big part of the culture. What is your favorite food?
I gotta say, my mama's cooking. That's for sure.
Can you make it?
Yeah, I recently made something in the middle of the night. I was just, what was I doing? No, I was thinking about the dish that she made, and I was like, oh, it came into my head. And I was like, oh shit, I gotta go to the kitchen. And then I looked at the time, it was 4 in.the morning, so I was cooking the dish.
What dish was it?
It was typical Caribbean dish, 𝗧𝗛𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 when she passed, it was the first time I came in my mind. I was like, I'm gonna make it right now. My son woke up. He was like, "What's Daddy doing? It's 4 o'clock in the morning cooking." It's like, you want some food?
Right. Did it taste as good as Mom's?
Yeah.
Good. See, this is why I don't like living far from you, because you know I'd be over there in the middle of the night getting my fuchi on. Yeah, because you are from Curaçao.
Yes.
Most people that know me know that I've been there a lot lately.
You spend more lot of time than me out there.
Yeah, I probably have. Yeah, you should have came with me. So what are some of the things that you implement in your everyday life that you got from your culture, from your background? Or maybe even in your songs, because you were talking about in your music, the soca, the reggaeton, whatever.
You know, the good vibe. The good vibes, the feel good vibe, and what music, you know, can do for people. And there's, let's say, for every situation in life, there's a track. There's probably a track for every situation. And in, let's say, in certain style of soul, funk, you can find those answers. And Caribbean is always talking about, most of the Caribbean songs are about food or about the island life.
Yeah, the relaxing, chilling life. Yeah, that's very true. If you were able to, it's normally I would have some food here. You know, this was kind of like a last minute situation, but what if you could eat right now, what would you eat?
Right now, I would go for some Suriname food. I feel like doing a 𝗬𝗙𝗘𝗥𝗝𝗦.
Oh, we're gonna eat that later on then.
I'm sorry, okay. I feel like that right now.
So what a lot of people also don't know about you, or maybe they do, is that you were in the military.
Yes.
For a while.
12.5 years.
Big while. How has that influenced you musically?
I used the discipline that I got in the army. I use that in my way in my music.
Can you name an example? Getting to your gig on time.
I'll try to do that every time from now and then. No, that's one thing. You know, you gotta set out a purpose. What you gonna do tonight? What you gonna do? You can't be going, okay, I'm a DJ tonight. I'm just gonna play some music. I always set a purpose when I go out. It's the same thing like going out on a mission.
Right. Depending on the type of party.
The type of party and the type of crowd.
Yes, exactly.
It's like my job is to make you move, to make you dance, to make you like, oh shit, when he's playing, he's doing something else. That's my job.
Right.
That's what I want everybody to do. I'm not stopping till I see that reaction.
It's very serious. Do you have fun while doing it?
Oh yes. I've learned that to have fun in that way from, he passed away last year. Dr. 𝗦𝗡𝗘𝗥𝗝𝗔𝗏.
Oh.
Yeah, wow. I've met him in Den Haag where I had to DJ. Dr. 𝗦𝗡𝗘𝗥𝗝𝗏. I sat down with him. I brought him a gift even. And he was telling me like, son, I don't know what you do. He's an older guy. What you do in music, I see that it's sucking up your energy. So what you need to do is you got to get the joy of doing.
Oh, right. You got to find the joy in doing it.
What you're doing. No, don't only give out energy because you're going to be drained at the end of your show. It's like you want to let the people see that you having joy in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that energy is infectious. It's going to...
So was that also literally the moment that he told you that, or did you have to like find it?
No, I kind of understood right away what he was saying, because I was like, why am I tired when I'm done DJing? Because I've done give a lot of energy. It's like, wait a minute, I gotta give some to myself. I gotta have the joy in what I'm doing.
Right.
Instead of I want to see people move. If people not moving tonight, you gotta be okay with that. But the people will come up to you and say like, hey, I had a great night. Thank you. It was music was fine.
So that was an important lesson for you, and probably also a reason why you are still doing it. Do you think you would still be doing it if you were so tired all the time? Did you already have a moment where you're like, oh?
I only had one moment in my life that I wanted to quit. And it was my mother that told me like, you're not going to quit. It's like, you're going to continue because...
This is you.
This is
your passion.
This is your passion. Yeah.
What is another important lesson that you learned over the years, maybe about, you know, or what did hip hop teach you?
Hip hop taught me music. Like I've learned a lot of music at a very young age. I learned about the samples. So I found out the originals. So I started collecting records. I wanted to know why are they using that. I had like, I remember I had it was, wait a minute. It was EPMD, first album. And I played it for my uncle. He told me, like, listen, that's a sample in there. Some George Clinton.
He heard it.
Yeah, he's like, yo, I have the records. Come, I'll let you hear. It's like, oh. So he was telling me like all kinds of records that I would bought in hip hop. He would show me like, no, I have.
You get the samples out of there.
Yeah. So at a real early stage in the '90s, well, at that time, nobody. I mean, for the people making the music, they knew. Most of the people who take the track as it come out, they won't. I've learned that.
So that is what you're teaching these kids in the school nowadays too.
Also, yeah.
You said. So, where do you think music would be if that wasn't a part of what's being taught?
I mean, we got we got a very good example.
Yeah, go ahead.
For today, if you listen to the music that's being made with people not even looking back where it came from, you'll see I'm totally garbage. I mean, there are exceptions that people really make good music. I mean, who am I? I'm just saying I don't like it.
Right. It doesn't matter. There's an audience for everything.
Yes, exactly.
Right. So were you dabbling in production? Because I know you did like the remixes and stuff. And what happened with that? Because you would be the perfect person to make great music with the knowledge of where it came from.
And that's the thing. I want to do a lot of stuff with making music, but I don't have a good answer for that. It's just I need to pick it up more, because anytime I get into music, I start looking and then I'm listening. I get lost in
and then
the music, and then I'm
the next day already.
Few hours later, what did I do? I just listened to all kinds of records that I never played just because I bought them because they had certain samples, and I was like trying to use them.
It's going down the rabbit hole.
And I'm thinking like, oh shit, I want to DJ. I want to play this right now. I want to let people know that they gotta listen to this part.
No, I understand. So you basically just never get to the actual making or creating part.
I did a couple of work, but not as much as I should. I've been on the DJ tip most of the time. Okay,
so if somebody would call you tomorrow to ask you to go on a world tour with them, but COVID is gone, we can all travel, who would that ideally be? Who would you want to DJ for on a world tour?
Right now?
Yeah, the call is coming in. Who is that on the phone?
Somebody? Anybody? Hello?
You can pick who.
Can I just...
It doesn't matter.
If somebody would call me now and I would go on a tour, let me see.
Who would the ideal person be to call you to jump on a tour with them? You can't say anybody from Wu-Tang.
I would go with Tyler, the Creator.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't expect that one. Why Tyler, the Creator?
I just love his stuff. He's a young guy. He's been around for a minute, but he
understands music.
He understands music. His mind is on the right place, and I can only respect that. And I would like to work with somebody like that. Yeah.
When you go to the club or when you listen to people's mixes, do you listen with a different ear than just as a consumer? Yeah,
I can never. There's no off button. There's no off switch. I can't help it.
Can you tell the difference between a good DJ and a bad DJ? Or not necessarily bad, but one that's more in your lane?
Yes, so I can definitely tell. And most of the times when DJs in my town, because before I started giving class at school, I was giving DJ class. I have a total of 48 DJ students. So most of the DJs in my hometown are actually, they learn from me, or they learn from somebody that learned from me. So when I come in somewhere, they get nervous. I have that effect now. I didn't know I had that effect. It's like, yo, don't worry. This song I mixed it wrong, but it's like, hey, chill.
They want to be doing a good job in front of you. They don't want to, be suckers.
Yeah.
How many? Okay, I know you just recently started, clearing out not clearing out, but sorting out your vinyl. How many records did you have at the most?
Right now?
No, Yeah. What was the most amount of records that you've had in your life?
What I have right now is a lot still.
Oh, still? How much?
50,000. I have
50,000.
Yeah, 50,000 records.
Where do you keep them?
I have a storage facility, an underground lair.
But how do you, so this is something that I just don't understand. You know, I'm not a DJ, I don't collect records. I do have records and I have a record player. But how do you pick and choose which you're taking out of your storage to play? Well, obviously people don't play with vinyl anymore, but how do you pick and choose? Do you even know which ones you all have? Do you know all 50,000?
Most, I listen to all of them, but sometimes I forget too. But
you switch them out. You go to your storage bit. Okay,
I like Corona time made me dig up my records and made a mess at home. Like brought too much records back at home, piled up all everywhere. So I had to bring some back. Yeah, it's a lot of soul, a lot of funk, classical music.
Yeah,
hip hop,
genres, yeah.
Yeah, dancehall. I have like a lot of dancehall.
Do you have a top favorite record?
Yeah, I have a couple.
Then mention a few.
I've like, let's say, "Bam Bam Off the Roof." That's the compilation. 𝗬𝗘𝗥𝗏𝗏 is on there. 𝗬𝗢𝗘𝗏𝗏𝗏. That's the original track. Hit them on 𝗬𝗢𝗘𝗏𝗏𝗏. That whole album is only that beat. With 10 different artists on it.
And are you a person that will have 2 copies?
Yes.
Because obviously, well, for the mixing, but also if something happens, you'll have another copy.
Yes.
So you would buy 2 records of every piece of vinyl.
I did that till 2014. I was buying everything double. Then I really.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's why you got, so basically you got 25,000 records. No, I'm kidding.
Well,
you got 50,000 pieces, but you got 25,000 songs.
Let's say I have like 20,000 7 inches, all kinds, and some of them I have double. Like the New Jack Swing on 7 inch, I have double, and the hip hop tracks on 7 inch, I have double. But
That's
the rest,
insane.
yeah. And the other ones is just like soul, funk, all kinds.
That's crazy. I wouldn't even know where to put it. I live too small. I have like maybe 20 records. Well, I used to have a lot more because I used to have turntables and a mixer too. But when I moved, I got rid of most of them. Well, I didn't get rid of them. I gave them to a friend of mine, DJ friend of mine, to keep them, and I never got them back. Never asked for them back. Because my dad had a big collection. My dad was a musician.
Black gold, black gold.
I know, right?
Black gold. That's how they call it. If you got the right records and the right conditions, it only will start.
It's making a come up again.
Yeah.
How do you feel about vinyl making the comeback?
I think it's super dope. I gave the students. I give them a good example. It's like, when you have a record, you can hold it in your hand.
Yeah.
You can like put it away, and you know.
But a CD as well.
CD has the same effect, but a record is different. You know, it's.
Yeah. You hear the crackling of the record. That's like that old school feel, that sound. The non-digitalized. I mean, that to me is nostalgia.
Yeah.
That when you hear the crackling of the vinyl, and not the smooth sound of a CD.
Yeah.
Because I remember when the CDJs came, on the market, it was like, well, I mean, obviously you didn't have to carry all the crates anymore, but.
I mean, for me, Serato was like, when the Serato came out.
Yeah, Serato was definitely better, yeah.
Yeah, I was carrying like 5 crates by myself, like really 5 crates.
But that was your workout, now you like, no, I'm kidding. Now you don't have a workout plan anymore. Are things getting better for you now? Because I know you started doing Twitch, as far as coming back into events and DJing again.
Yes, it's starting coming back right now. I have like a couple of bookings. Normally, like last year was really sad. I had like a total of 37 or 36 gigs for the whole year. That's something that I do normally in the first 3 months or less of the first year, in the beginning of the year, and now it was like spread out throughout the whole year. It was, you know, lockdowns and all of that. So.
But you always keep developing yourself.
Yeah,
skills,
and I mean the lockdown it pushed me to be creative in what we do online. So I had to find the right platform where you can express and be create, you know, creative with all the things that you can do. And yeah, and it was video mixing because you have like
the video mixing.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing too. Now.
Yeah. Mixing with videos, so instead of just very static, you just have a DJ set and DJs be playing music, and
it's almost like you have to be able to do that as a DJ now to add that extra element, especially when the world opens up again with events over here. I mean, it's almost like you're looking for it when you're in the club. You
know what? And still they don't, it's like the group of video DJs is very small.
Yeah.
Across the globe, it's very small. It's not even, it's very small.
Do you think it's gonna grow? Visuals?
It's gonna grow, it gotta grow. Because if you go to let's say a event where a dance DJ is playing, he got a whole light team, a whole light show going on. I mean, for hip hop DJs, you don't do that, all that fancy light stuff.
Right. So you have to do something else.
You gotta do something else, and boom, Serato video. For me,
it'd be actually be cool too for as a tour DJ, as a show DJ, to implement that in somebody's show when they're performing.
You know what? We had that. I mean, we was going that way when I was asked to do shows together with Mr. Props.
All right.
And we had like the whole Serato with everything with video. He was actually one of the first, in my knowledge, in the Netherlands, to do it. Like we're gonna use the videos.
Right.
He had like,
show,
yeah.
I never.
But people didn't pick it up like that because they wanted to.
It was new.
It was new,
yeah.
And the technology at the time was different. Before then, like maybe 3 years later, it came much easier to be able to do that.
Right. Talking about sharing knowledge, sharing history. I like the fact that you're basically a music history person because you figure out what songs consist of and where they came from and who was the originator and the original creator of the sound. What, in your opinion, the most important piece of information or knowledge that people should know if they want to dabble in this culture, in whatever element? Tough question.
It's a tough question. No, it's not a tough question. I just got to think out the right answer.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's actually a good one. I'll let you marinate on that.
Well, you got to know the elements. That's for sure. And remember to have fun.
Yeah, that was definitely
peace,
an important one.
love,
unity,
and having fun. It's like James Brown and 𝗧𝗛𝗏𝗏 𝗏𝗏. They sang that in a song. So
that's true.
And don't, you know, sometimes you gotta you gotta let music take its course, and music is evolving into something else. We gotta accept that, respect that it's happening. But sometimes when it evolves in a certain way, you need certain people to stand out and be like, hey, listen, hey, we want to keep the culture alive in a certain way like this. If it keeps evolving in this way, we're going to lose a part of the culture. I mean, right now we got people using the platform hip-hop culture, but not really being a hip-hop artist. They're using it because it's a multi-million business.
Yes, that's very true.
Yeah. So they use the platform.
So implementing at least the core values.
Yeah, at least you gotta know where it came from. You gotta look back. You gotta know, like, okay,
you gotta know your
respect.
history. Yeah.
I'm moving this way, and that's why I say Tyler the Creator, because he's one of those guys. He always pay respect to, like, the people who went before him, and.
Oh, I totally agree, and that is, you know, because people sometimes take that as potential disrespect towards people that don't do their research, because everybody takes elements of the culture and uses it to whatever they want to do, which is fine because it's evolving. But if you want to claim to be part of the culture, you should at least know
Yes.
the history. That's
Most
what
definitely.
we're saying. It's not bad if you just want to, you know, run around with rap, because rap is part of you know, hip hop, but it also evolved to its own thing.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily have to be part of it unless you start claiming it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So I mean, the birthplace of hip hop, New York. Mm-hmm. When I first set foot there, I could just breathe it in the air. I could feel it. I could sense it. How was that for you?
Same thing. I went to all the record stores. I think I spent like I don't know how much. I spent a lot of money. Spent a lot of money on records.
And
clothes.
back in the day,
days,
they had the mixtape slingers in front of Fat Beats and stuff. You know, it was so crazy how they wanted you to hear their stuff. And to me, I've always felt like if you live this lifestyle, or you want to be part of a certain, you know, culture, that you have to know where it came from. So for me, it wasn't even thinkable or imaginable that a person that has been doing this for years has never set foot in New York. And I'm not saying that, you know, everybody has the means, or, you know.
No, you gotta. It's like going to the Mecca.
It's Mecca, exactly. Like it has to be on your bucket list at least.
At least, yes. You gotta say like, yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
It's crazy. I absolutely love the show from RZA. You know, the whole Wu-Tang, an American Sega. It's amazing to see how inspirational that also is for, you know, for everybody nowadays to be able to do what you want to do. And if you really have the will, then you will find a way. You'll make it happen.
Yes.
And I think you've been doing that too with your, you know, homemade turntable and everything. I mean, you started being creative, making something that you wanted and didn't have the means to get it yet. So yeah, thank you so much for being a guest.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yes, it was amazing. Where can we find you?
Well, coming time, you can find me in my hometown, chilling.
Where can we find you online?
Online, you can find me on Twitch.
DJ Sueside?
DJ Sueside _ DJ Sueside. Yeah. I have like a whole schedule on there, so you can see me there.
Are there any people that you want to give shout outs to, people that have been influential in your life, in your career?
I mean, I gotta say the people that have been influential for the last 2 years. I gotta say the Video Vandal Squad, music video DJs, what up? I mean, if it wasn't for the music video DJs, it was a guy who put Evan, shout out to him, because he put us together like all the music video DJs all across the world, and we would have like the stream would go 24/7, 7 days a week, non-stop.
That's dope.
All kinds of DJs from all over the world. So that's how I made new friends online. I met people that are like, I want to meet them after when I can travel. I'm going to meet these guys. Like, and I got asked to join the squad. It's called Video Vandals. It's very dope. Those guys are we're all video DJs, and what we do is they do a raid. Like we do a raid online, and every Thursday that's the raid going. It's very fun.
Anybody else?
Anybody else?
The kids.
The kids. Shout out to my kids. Shout out to the family. Shout out to all my DJ friends, the Vinylized crew. Yeah, the Vinylized crew is another crew out from Netherlands. We DJ at all the record fairs here in Netherlands.
Cool.
So you can find us there at the record fairs. Stay tuned, Vinylized.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks again. I'm happy that we were able to sit down and actually go through your entire history. I don't think we've ever done that like this, and I'm just happy to share your history and your information and knowledge with, you know, the audience. So
thank you.
Thanks, and yeah, check him out. Check him out on Twitch or wherever. Follow him. He's got some good music, and he knows some of the best. You know, he's the insider.
And I got some gigs coming up, but the dates they're being
don't worry
confirmed.
About it. Find it online.
You can find it online.
All right, thanks.
Twitch, Instagram, all of that.
And I'll see you guys with the next episode, next guest. Who knows?